Look at that traffic jam. I mean, whatever happened here, I have no idea why. There's cars walking, cars like driving into the rocks, out of the rocks. I mean, how did this happen? I like seriously miscalculated how many cars you need for an enclosure. This is nuts. Anyway, hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy and welcome to episode 3 of our speed build series, the Biosyn Recreation Reserve. In this episode, we will be building a small, it's not short or small. Anyway, we'll be building a guest section, as you can see over here. It's an elevated guest section. I went with the theme of mountainous guest section. It's not really mountainous, it's just like up on the hill, but I wanted this map to have mountains. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. We will not have that many dinosaurs, so we have space for mountainous environments. We have all this space, all these opportunities to build mountains, and as you can see over here, I'm using the Hyperloop system to connect this part to the other parts. This section, I will just start it in this build and then finish it in the next build. When it comes to like decorating it and stuff, I was so very happy that this worked with the bathroom, that it was just like exactly in the middle and it all just kind of like fit together. I mean, I'm a natural, what can I say? No. I had this idea of doing a circular guest section, but there would be mountains incorporated in it. And I really love how this particular part turned out, that it's just like closed, the pathway is closed between two mountains, and it generally looks nice, I would say. This will be a walkway. There will be tables, chairs, some decorations, and I will be working on it next time. But in this video, we will be focusing on the Therizinosaurus enclosure and also the Dilophosaurus enclosure. You have already seen the Dilos in the beginning during the traffic jam. The enclosure was, the enclosures were a little tricky because at first I thought that they would look like this, that they would be like linear, that the first one would be like the Dilos, and then the Therizinosaurus would be like the main attraction that you need to get through. You need to get through the Dilos to the Therizinosaurus. But you will see that it didn't work out that well because the map and the environment and the brush wasn't giving me trees, so I had to like make it so that the fences are not as close to each other, so that we can actually have a swamp here, so that we can actually have these marshes that I wanted to create. I thought initially that this map would be just perfect for creating marshes and swamps with all those trees, but to my big surprise, yeah, the car was in the way. I couldn't smooth it out, so I had to wait for the car to go a little further before I deactivated the tour again, because it's a nightmare. You really like cannot do anything with it when the car is there. Like, the dinosaurs are no problem, the cars. What was I saying? Yeah, the trees. I thought that they would be ideal, but they're not that dense. I thought they were denser, just a little bit. I mean, it still looks nice. It's gonna still look fine, but it was a little disappointing to see that they were a little too sparse. Then I had to reorganize the fences and do some terrain work around it. I also reorganized this because I realized that the slope was just like nightmarishly bad. And I wanted to have this smooth path over there. I want it to be rocky with some trees here and there, and the guests will be able to also see the enclosure from up above. I was trying to mask the invisible fences and do something like natural barriers, because I still feel like it's stretching like the plausibility of this whole thing is getting stretched with these invisible fences. I love this green grass. I think it's grass, but it's really a moss, and it's like, it looks so like wet and mossy, and I love using it. So I thought that if I'm gonna call this Marshes, it's gonna be like the perfect blend. And in the end, I'm gonna blend it with the rock texture a little bit, so it won't be just, you know, like green, but it will, you know, like it will have rocks in it as well. And I'm basically just like going back and forth, adding trees, adding water, adding rocks eventually. As you can see over here, I wanted to have many rocks around the gate so that it looks like it is secluded from the rest of the park. Again, I have a problem with these invisible fences and the believability. And look what happened. I mean, these Dreadnoughtus just like casually waltzed through the fence, like highest security, my ass, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, back to the enclosure. I was skipping through, you know, like I was doing this and then I was doing that because I didn't want to get bored with it. Didn't want to do, you know, like one thing only and then just next thing only. I sometimes do this, that I like hop from one thing to another and do crazy stuff. But with the invisible fences, I really wanted to utilize, and I was hoping that I would be able to utilize the invisible fences as natural barriers. However, we cannot do cliffs in this game that are so steep, so for it to be believable that the dinosaurs cannot, you know, like climb up, and the fences are still visible, which means that it's still a little, I don't know. But yeah, I should not be complaining about it that much because it's still much better than, you know, like any barrier that we had before. And I don't, you know, like if I wanted to do this without the invisible fence, I would have to, you know, put like rocks next to each other very tightly again, and it would take much more of my time. So I'm thankful for these invisible fences, you know, like when it comes to this, that they do save time for enclosures like these where there's enough vegetation to hide the fact that there's basically nothing holding the dinosaurs. And I was putting down some shrubs over here. It's supposed to be like, you know, like marshes. It's supposed to be very what's the word, what's the other word for marshes? Swampy. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Sorry about it. And again, more rocks around the gates. I was trying to put rocks around the fences as well. And this build wasn't like difficult in any way or anything. It was just like too many rocks and figuring out the way of how to get the tour over there. I really wanted to make a tour through the swamp because you will see that it looks kind of cool when the car just like goes through there, and there's like this mist and there's many trees and all the shrubs in the water and it's all swampy. This is me playing with the textures a little bit because I did realize that it cannot just be green, that it should have like this rocky texture around it somewhere in some patches. So that was something. And then I realized that I wanted to give some elevation to the enclosure at least, and I deleted some of the water and I like put a few like hills, I would say, in there, and it I think looks cool and it creates the feeling that this is a forest. It's not just, you know, like a swamp dipped in water. It is a swamp dipped in water, but realistically it would have its parts where it's a little bit more hilly than elsewhere. So yeah, so that's why I was doing this and trying to create these little hills around it. And I think that will be it for this speed build, and this is the look at the Therizinosaurus that is walking through the trees, just casually walking through the trees. I love it. I love this dinosaur so freaking much. I love its claws. I love the scratching animation. I love everything. And there's 2 of them. There's actually 3 of them in this enclosure, but I never actually got to see 3 of them at once. And I never got to see their social interaction. I've seen pictures, and I know that it's cute or something or whatever, and I haven't seen it yet, and I wanted to see it for myself in the game, but I guess I'll just like watch some YouTube video or something. This is the view from the tour that I promised you. Here we can see our Therizinosaurus on the left side, and also one in the front, the rear of the car. I don't know why I'm talking like this. And this is the traffic jam that you have seen or that you saw at the beginning of the video. I don't know what happened. It was a complete mayhem. Like this car. It's just like, I don't know why the Dilos were blocking the cars, but I guess I had too many cars for meters. I need to get used to this new mechanic. Speaking of the Dilophosaurus, I kind of dislike the new Dilophosaurus skin from the movie. Not dislike, but I'm not like crazy about it. I used it here to be movie accurate. This is another look at the Therizinosaurus in their swampy enclosure. But when it comes to the Dilos, I don't know. I expected more, I guess. I expected them to be like more colorful or something, to have that, you know, like pattern. Another traffic jam. I mean, this enclosure is cursed. I mean, it's still cute, it's still nice, and it's movie accurate, but the one that Claire encountered was more colorful, I think. And never mind. With this last look at the Therizinosaurus, I will say my goodbyes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tommy. If you like the video, please give me a like, comment, or share. And if you think that you would like my upcoming content, please do consider subscribing, because there is much more coming, more tutorials, more speed builds, and more park series. Thank you again. Have a great day, and bye-bye.